Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon deck profile. So I'm really excited for this one, because this is an awesome deck that just makes really big dragons really quickly and OTKs your opponent really fast. So it's a really fun deck that I highly recommend you guys try out, and I really want to get into this one because this is one of my favorite decks of all time. I love the artwork of all these monsters, and like I said, it makes humongous dragons with like right there, just having a 4,000 attack point monster that you can go into right off the bat is extremely impressive for this deck. So without further ado, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad, and let's get straight on into this one. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, which is the all-star of the deck. You've got to play 3 copies of this card because a lot of the cards in this deck require you to play this card and get it from the hand, deck, or grave out on the field to use as a material for XYZ summons. So this card is extremely pivotal to play 3 of. You can special summon it from your hand by attributing 2 monsters with 2,000 attack or more. And if it battles a monster, you can banish that opponent's monster. When this card battles the opponent's monster, you can target that monster, banish both this card and that card as material, or banish both this card and the opponent's monster. And if it's an XYZ monster, then when this card's put back on the field, it gains 500 attack for each material it had when it was banished. Which is really cool because it just can go up even higher and get really big, especially if you're playing in something that makes a lot of materials on a monster. Then we play 2 copies of Galaxy Knight. This helps us go into rank 8 plays really well. You can normal summon it without tributing, but it loses 1,000 attack. And then if you do normal summon this card without tributing, if you control a Photon or Galaxy monster, you can special summon a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from your graveyard if possible, but it loses the attack regardless, but you can only normal summon it if you have a Galaxy or Photon monster on the field. Then we play 2 copies of Galaxy Brave. Galaxy Brave is a really interesting card that lets us special summon it from our hand by revealing a Photon monster in our hand. And if you do, its level becomes the level of the Photon monster that was revealed. So we play a lot of different monsters in our deck that are level 4, so it can kind of copy those monsters, but we also play Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, which usually we have in our hand, so it's really easy to just be able to copy those levels of the Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. And if it's normal summon or special summon, you can target a Galaxy monster in your graveyard, and its attack and events becomes equal to that monster's attack and events. So if you have something in the graveyard that has like 4,000, you can just copy it and make this a 4,000 beat stick on summon, which is crazy good. 3 copies of Galaxy Soldier. Galaxy Soldier helps us go into our Link plays and Cyber Dragon Infinity and stuff like that. And it just is a really good card to be able to have on the field. The common theme of this deck is to have monsters on the field that have 2,000 attack or more and that are light monsters. So this card really comes in clutch. And it also has the ability that you send a light monster from your hand to the graveyard and then special summon it from your hand. And then when this card is special summoned, you can add a Galaxy monster from your deck to your hand. It's not another copy of Galaxy Soldier. It's just another Galaxy monster, which a lot of people forget that you can add any Galaxy monster from your deck to your hand. Then we play 2 copies of Photon Thrasher. I feel like the 2 copies of Photon Thrasher is perfect because it's kind of like Cyber Dragon. You can special summon it from your hand if you have no monsters on the field, which is a really cool effect. And it's a 2100 beat stick that just really comes in clutch for Link plays and XYZ plays. A single copy of Galaxy Wizard, I just play a single copy. If you normal summon it, you contribute it to add a Galaxy card from your deck to your hand, and also you can increase its level to 4. So you can make it a level 8 monster on normal summon, which can really help with stuff like Galaxy Brave and having Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon on the field. 3 copies of Photon Vanisher. Photon Vanisher is one of the most clutch cards in the entire deck, in my opinion. That it cannot be normal summoned or set. It must be special summoned for your hand while you control a Photon or a Galaxy monster. And then it also has the ability that you banish. Once per turn, if this card is special summoned, you get to add a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from your deck to your hand. And the XYZ monster using this card as a material gains the following effect. Banish any monster, destroy battle with this card. So it's really good to be able to just use that as another means to get into our other monsters. 1 single copy of Photon Advancer. I just play 1 Photon Advancer because if a Photon monster is on your field, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you can only special summon it once per turn, and then once per turn it gains 1,000 attack if another Photon monster is on the field. So it essentially comes out at 2,000, so it's a really good card to combo with like Photon Thrasher. You special summon Photon Thrasher, special summon this behind it, discard something like Galaxy Soldier. Search like Galaxy Knight. If you send Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon to the graveyard, you can normal summon Galaxy Knight, and that's your normal summon, and bring back Photon Dragon, and you just filled up your field with 5 monsters. and they're all about 2,000 attack. So, I mean, you have Link plays, you have XYZ plays, you have everything, and that's opening a Thrasher, Advancer, and a Soldier, and you get all of that. You get all those plays. I mean, that's just so easy. It's just free real estate. So then we play 3 copies of Photon Orbital. Photon Orbital is a interesting card in this deck that during your main phase you can target a Photon or Galaxy monster you control and equip this card from your hand or field to that monster. And it also gains 500 attack and defense and cannot be destroyed by battle. You can send this card to the graveyard to add a Galaxy or Photon monster from your deck to your hand. So it searches anything that you really need from your deck to your hand. So this card's like really good for the searching ability. And then for the last 3 monsters, we play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom comes in clutch because this deck is an OTK based deck. So if you can stall your opponent out just a little bit, because you want to usually go second so you can go after your opponent, the Ash Blossom really helps out to where you can just OTK and just not have to deal with as many negates your opponent has. Because this deck can play through a lot of negates, but the Ash Blossom really helps. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave, again, since we're trying to OTK, this card really comes in clutch to be able to stop our opponent from, doing all sorts of shenanigans against us. You could probably change this out for Dark Ruler No More if you want to side in Dark Ruler No More, because that card is really, really good in this deck. If you're trying to OTK your opponent and you're dealing with too many negates, I always side Dark Ruler No More in every single deck. And that's just something that I do. Galaxy Zero is kind of like Monster Reborn, unless you target a Photon or Galaxy monster in your graveyard and special summon it. And it's equipped with this card, it cannot attack or activate its effects, and if it would be destroyed during the battle phase, you can destroy this card instead. And then when this card leaves the field, the equipped monster's attack becomes 0. Not that big of a deal. Usually we're just going to use it to bring back something for a material. So it's just a searchable card that we play. 2 copies of Galaxy Trance. Galaxy Trance lets us pay 2,000 life points to target a Photon monster in our graveyard and special summon it. And a Galaxy monster from our deck with the same level, but in defense position. If you do, each monster's attack comes 2,000 and their effects are negated. So this card can really come in clutch to make the Soulflare Dragon, which is kind of on the card artwork. It's kind of inferring that what you're trying to do is give Photon Thrasher and Galaxy Wizard in deck, put these on field, and then summon Soulflare. So, I mean, it's kind of hinting at that. 3 copies of Galaxy Expedition. Galaxy Expedition is clutch in this deck. If you control a level 5 or higher Photon or Galaxy monster, you can special summon a level 5 or higher Photon or Galaxy monster from your deck in face of defense position for free, I might add. So this card's essentially just like an instant turbo out of any Galaxy or Photon monster. So this card comes in so clutch in the deck, it's ridiculous. This card is so good and so important to the strategy. And then we play 3 copies of Photon Sanctuary. Photon Sanctuary is another really good card that puts 2 tokens on the field that are 2,000 attack and 0 defense and light type, but they can't be used as synchro material, and you cannot special summon other monsters this turn except for light, which is, again, not that big of a deal because we're going to be able to go into exactly what we need anyways. So I'm not that worried about going into anything but light monsters because usually we're just going for XYZ plays anyways. Then we play for the last 3 spells, we play 3 copies of Trade-In because we play so many different level 8 monsters in this deck. We have 3 Galaxy Eyes Photons, 2 Galaxy Knights, and 2 Galaxy Braves for our targets, which is a total of 7 targets for the Trade-Ins. So this card is extremely live in this deck all the time, every time you draw it. And it doesn't matter where your Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon is. It doesn't matter if it's in hand, grave, or deck. You're going to get to it. So you want to play the 3 trade-ins because it doesn't matter if they're in a grave. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to play 2, and that is going to be the Tachyon Transmigration. If you control a Galaxy Eyes monster, negate the activation of your opponent's spell or trap cards and monster effects activated before this card in a chain. This is probably one of the best counter traps in the entire game because it negates everything that's in the chain before it. If you get up to like a chain link 4 and your opponent's chaining a bunch of stuff out, you activate this and it negates everything before it. This card is so good, and if you have and then it shuffles the cards that are negated in from the field into the deck. And if you control a Galaxy Eyes Tachyon monster, you can activate this card directly from your hand. So if you put Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon on the field and they try and negate the summon, you can activate this straight from the hand, instantly negating it, shuffling it into the deck. They do like Solemn Judgment or Strike or anything, and it just negates it, but they still have to pay cost, so that's still something that you have to keep in mind. So they do actually have to pay the 4,000 if they try and Solemn Judgment it because of the way it works. So that's it for the main deck, guys. This card is so awesome. I thought about playing it at 3, but I'm just playing it at 2 right now. because I'm not super focused around summoning Galaxy Eyes Tachyon, but I have some interesting tech cards in the extra deck, which we're going to get into right now. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 2 copies of our Galaxy number 62 Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon. It is one of the best XYZ monsters in the entire extra deck because it goes up to 4,000 and it just keeps coming back, and it's the biggest beat stick and the easiest one to get into. 1 copy of Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon to take our opponent's monsters. This card's really good in this deck. Cypher Blade Dragon, because you can overlay on top of Cypher Dragon to make this really easily, and it's really important to be able to do that. 1 copy of Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord for the extra negations, because when an opponent's monster activates an effect, you can detach a material from this card, negate that monster effect, and if you detach was a Galaxy monster, you destroy it as well. So this card's really good to just negate all sorts of stuff. Usually what I want to end with is like Prime Photon or in Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord, because then I have a negate and I have like a sword and a shield on the field. And before this card came out, you didn't really have that. 1 copy of Full Armor Photon, which you can overlay on top of your other Galaxy Eyes XYZ monsters. And then you can detach a material from it to target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. So it's really good to rank up into this on top of something. Sometimes they'll even put 62 on the field and rank up on top of it to make this so I can pop something and then swing for 4,000. Number 38, Hope Harboring Dragon Titanic Galaxy. Hope Harboring Dragon Titanic Galaxy is really good in this deck as well because you can just negate all sorts of spells and stuff. Sometimes I want to end on this instead of Photon Lord, because if I'm playing a Sky Striker, I want to put this on field instead of putting this on field. It just depends on what you want to go for. Number 107. 107 is really good in this deck too because of Tachyon Transmigration, and I also play C107, which there is a way in the extra deck to go into this card, and it just OTKs out of nowhere with this card. Because once per turn, you can detach material from this card until the end phase of the turn, negate the activation of all their face-up monsters currently on the field, and also your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to this card. And if it has a Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon as a material, you can tribute 2 monsters. This card can make up to 3 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. So you can actually go into this card with Dragubolion, whatever it is, number 97. Number 97 makes it really easy to go into this card because your opponent cannot target this card with card effects, and then you detach material from this card, take 2 dragon number monsters with different names from your extra deck and or graveyard, except this card, and then special summon 1 of them and attach the other as material. So basically what you do is you summon this one and then you overlay this one on top of it, and it just automatically gives it the materials, which is really great. And then also it has the ability that also for the rest of the turn, your opponent you can special summon other monsters or declare attacks except with the special summon monster, which is not the big deal because if you have a link monster on the field, you can contribute this and the link monster and then swing 3 times with this and negate all the effects on the field. Like this ends the game. Cyber Dragon Nova and Cyber Dragon Infinity for the Galaxy Soldiers is for extra negates. Star Liege Photon Blast Dragon is another card that we make sometimes. It's our 1 rank 4 that we play. 2 copies of Soul Flare Dragon. Soul Flare Dragon is really good for the link arrows. That's basically the big reason you play it. If it's link summon, you get to target a Galaxy or Photon monster in your graveyard and add it back to your hand, which is really, really important in this deck. And then I play a single copy of Galaxy Satellite Dragon because it also helps us get into C107 because it has the ability that it takes 2 dragon monsters to go into, which kind of sucks, but you can go into it. But during the battle phase, quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard and then target 1 number XYZ monster you control whose original type / attribute are light dragon. Until the end phase of the battle phase, its attack and defense become equal to the value of its number and its name times 100, so it can make a number number 107 go all the way up to 10,700. So that's why I play this as a 1-up. And then it also, any battle damage your opponent takes is halved, so that kind of sucks. But during your opponent's end phase, you can choose 1 card from your deck and either place it on the top of your deck, which is really good too because you want to be able to get the cards that you need as quickly as possible. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's super fun to play around with. And really interesting on the different things that it can summon. Basically, the extra deck is just a rank 8 toolbox that you can put anything that you want in. So if there's anything that you see that you don't want to play, like maybe the C107 or something like that, and you want to play something like maybe Felgran, you can drop that and play like Felgran if you want to, but there's options in this deck, which makes it really fun to be able to play this deck. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.